Good morning. Glad to have you with us on this Monday. Our top story for you now. The government shutdown will slide into a weekday this morning as lawmakers in Washington not reach a compromise to keep the government running in spite of the marathon sessions over the weekend. But there is cautious optimism on Capitol Hill that the three-day will be a turning point. Now, Republican Senator Jeff Flake was a part of the 22-person bipartisan contingent on Sunday, working behind the scenes on a deal. Later, on the Senate floor, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell thanked the group and then offered a pledge to Democrats to vote for a short-term funding bill that lasts until February 8th. If then there is no solution on the main Democratic sticking point, immigrants brought here illegally as children will be the concern brought to the forefront. And this federal shutdown is far from being the first. The federal government has been shut down 18 times over the past 4 decades. Randy Kay takes a look at some of those longest points.
October 2013, the U.S. government shuts down under President Barack Obama. House Republicans, led by Speaker John Boehner, wanted the White House to agree to lower levels of discretionary spending. Conservatives demanded that any funding bill delay implementation of Obamacare by 1 year.
The reason we have a shutdown right now is because Harry Reid and President Obama want a shutdown, and they have refused to compromise at all.
National parks were shut down, even the World War II memorial in Washington, D.C. Angry veterans protested and stormed past the barriers. Obama took a lot of heat. Finally, after 16 days, Speaker Boehner gave the green light for an end to the standoff, passing a funding bill that most of his fellow Republicans opposed. A funding bill that, in the end, even after the shutdown, did not defund Obamacare.
We've been locked in a fight over here, trying to bring government down to size, trying to do our best to stop Obamacare, and we fought the good fight. We just didn't win.
Hundreds of thousands of government employees who had been furloughed returned to work, back to critical medical research programs, to national parks, even the panda cam at the National Zoo.
We'll begin reopening our government immediately.
This country went without a shutdown for 17 years until the government shut down under President Obama. The last two before that were in 1995 under President Bill Clinton, who battled it out with a new Republican majority in the House and Senate.
It is particularly unfortunate that the Republican Congress has brought us to this juncture because, after all, we share a central goal: balancing the federal budget.
The first shutdown under President Clinton lasted only 5 days, but another that started in December 1995 lasted for 21 days. Everything came to a halt, including any new claims for Social Security and veterans benefits.
It's very difficult to work with a president who seems to be primarily driven by his political advisors to engage in public relations stunts.
Back in October 1978 under Jimmy Carter, the government also shut down for a long period, 17 days. Carter said no to a defense spending bill, which funded a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier and a bunch of public works projects he called pork. Carter ultimately prevailed. The projects he thought were wasteful were removed from the bill. Randy Kay, CNN, New York.